Amidst the dazzling lights of the fashion world, one name suddenly breaks through the noise: Kim Hye-yoon. But why now? Amidst a Prada fever sweeping across social media, her name climbs the ranks of trending searches, sparking endless questions and speculation. Could this sudden surge in attention have something to do with Byun Woo-seok? Or is there something deeper behind the scenes, something fans aren't supposed to see yet? The lights flashed, cameras clicked, and in that electrifying moment, when the world's most glamorous names paraded through the sea of Prada and poise, a quiet yet magnetic presence began to rise above the noise. Amidst the whirl of silks and the murmur of luxury, one name started to echo louder than expected: Kim Hye-yoon. At first, no one could quite explain it. She wasn't Prada's official ambassador. She wasn't the centerpiece of any campaign. Yet her photos flooded social media overnight, shining even the front row royalty. Within hours, her name trended across platforms. Every gesture dissected frame by frame, as if the internet had suddenly discovered a new muse. The question burning on everyone's lips was simple, yet irresistible: why her? And why now? As the Prada fever swept through the digital world, curiosity turned to speculation, and speculation turned into a storm. Beneath the glitter and grace, whispers began to circulate: was Byun Woo-seok involved? It began innocently enough: a fleeting glance caught on camera, a parallel post on social media, an overlapping schedule that fans couldn't ignore. It's just coincidence, some said. It's fate, others replied. Within days, what started as light-hearted chatter had evolved into a full-blown mystery. The perfect storm of timing, fashion, rumor had found its two leads, and neither Kim Hye-yoon nor Byun Woo-seok seemed prepared for how fiercely the world would care. Her appearance at the Prada event was cinematic. The venue glowed with polished marble of black and gold, the rhythmic pulse of camera shutters forming a kind of heartbeat for the evening. Celebrities moved like living sculptures, their every turn choreographed, their smiles trained. Yet when Kim Hye-yoon stepped onto the scene, something shifted. She didn't command attention with grandeur. Instead, it was the quiet, her poised stillness, her deliberate grace, that drew eyes. Wearing a minimalist black dress that seemed to shimmer only when she moved, she gave the illusion of simplicity hiding fire. Reporters leaned forward. Influencers typed frantically. "Who is that?" they whispered. By morning, the question was answered. And by noon, her name was everywhere. Fans clipped every video. Edits of her slow smile, her fleeting glance over her shoulder, looped endlessly with background music labeled the moment the goddess appeared. International media picked up the story: K-drama star Kim Hye-yoon steals the show at Prada event. But then, a spark ignited a new flame. Someone noticed that Byun Woo-seok, rising star, heartthrob of the year, had liked a post featuring her from that very night. And that was all it took. The algorithm caught fire. Twitter turned into a battleground of fans and dreamers. Threads titled "The Byun Woo-seok x Kim Hye-yoon Connection" began popping up in multiple languages. Sleuths dissected past interviews, red carpet footage, even ad campaigns. They looked too comfortable. One comment read beneath a behind-the-scenes photo from months ago. Another added, "He once said his ideal type has a bright smile and warm eyes, just like her." Was it mere coincidence, or something more? Behind the scenes, even industry insiders couldn't stay silent. "It's rare for an actor's name to trend just because of another celebrity's event," said one anonymous stylist. But when chemistry is that strong, people feel it, even through a camera. Kim Hye-yoon, known for her intelligence and emotional depth on screen, suddenly found herself in a spotlight far brighter than any drama could script. Her every gesture was now scrutinized. The way she tucked her hair, the tilt of her head, even her silence became a statement. "She's pretending not to care," one fan theorized. "That's how you know something's up." But others saw something different. A young woman simply coming into her own. Because beneath the glamour and gossip, there was a truth that many missed. Kim Hye-yoon had been quietly preparing for this moment all along. She wasn't an overnight sensation. Her rise had been years in the making. From her debut in small roles to her breakout in critically acclaimed dramas, she had built a reputation for being dedicated, and deeply human. While other stars chased virality, she chased authenticity. Her performances weren't loud, they were layered, subtle and disarming. And that's perhaps why, when Prada's flashing lights found her, they illuminated more than just her face, They revealed her timing. The perfect intersection of artistry and allure. Meanwhile, Byun Woo-seok's trajectory had been on fire. Fresh off a series that left audiences heartbroken and breathless. He embodied a new kind of romantic hero, vulnerable, modern, achingly real. The nation had fallen in love with him. And international fans followed suit. His interviews hinted at humility. His laughter disarmed cynics. Chemistry with co-stars turned scenes into sensations. So when fans began weaving a narrative that tied their names together, it didn't feel forced. Like the natural evolution of two careers destined to collide. Still, in the glittering chaos of speculation, both actors stayed silent. No confirmations. No denials. Only subtle gestures, an Instagram story here, a shared event there, that fanned the flames without adding a single word. And perhaps that was the brilliance of it. Because in the entertainment world, silence is its own form of art. Days passed, but the frenzy didn't fade. A new hashtag emerged, Byun Woo-seok. Memes mixed with fan fiction. Fancams merged with fashion analyses. They look like a Prada couple. One viral tweet proclaimed, amassing over 2 million views. Kim Hye-yoon's management, known for their restraint, issued no comment. Byun Woo-seok's team dodged questions with polite smiles. Meanwhile, fashion magazines capitalized on the trend, publishing think pieces titled When Chemistry Becomes Couture. It wasn't just about romance anymore, it was about narrative power. Kim Hye-yoon had unknowingly stepped into the role of a muse. A symbol of how elegance and mystery can shape the digital era's obsession with storytelling. What made her so captivating wasn't scandal, it was suggestion. The allure of maybe. The quiet confidence that left the public wanting more. Even industry veterans noticed. She doesn't chase the camera, said one producer. The camera chases her. As the world analyzed every frame, few realized the toll that attention can take. Fame, after all, is a fragile flame. It glows beautifully, burns unpredictably. For Kim Hye-yoon, the Prada moment was both a dream and a test. She held her composure while the internet spun stories of love and fate around her? Could she transform speculation into strength? If anyone could, it was her. Because behind her serene gaze was a will sharpened by years of perseverance. Friends describe her as quietly fierce. The kind of woman who listens more than she speaks, but when she does speak, people remember. Perhaps that's what drew Byun Woo-seok's attention in the first place. Or perhaps it was all a coincidence, a story written not by fate, but by fans who wanted to believe in something beautiful. Either way, the result was undeniable. Kim Hye-yoon's star was ascending faster than ever. Fashion houses began calling. Magazines wanted covers. Brands wanted her as the face of subtle sophistication. In the middle of it all, remained graceful, composed. Her smile calm amid the storm. Behind closed doors, industry chatter buzzed louder. Some insiders believed the connection to Byun Woo-seok was orchestrated, a silent collaboration between PR teams to spark relevance for both. Others dismissed it entirely, insisting the energy between them was too natural to fake. Truth, as always, lay somewhere between fantasy and fact. One thing was certain, the Prada night changed everything. That sea of opulence, Kim Hye-yoon became the symbol of an era where image, timing, and emotion converge into one unstoppable force. The world saw not just a woman in couture, but a story unfolding in real time. And perhaps that's why, when the night ended and the cameras dimmed, her name continued to echo through the digital corridors of fame. As dawn broke, the internet remained restless. Posts surfaced comparing her gestures to Byun Woo-seok's. Fans noticed both wore similar tones of black. It's couple-coded, one comment screamed. Pointed out a mirrored quote from each actor's recent interview, both had spoken of meeting someone who inspires calmness. Coincidence, or confession? Boundaries blurred further when a short clip emerged from the after-party, grainy, taken from afar. It showed two silhouettes laughing together near the entrance. Their movements natural, easy. No faces. No confirmation. Just possibility. And that was enough. Because sometimes, in the world of stardom, mystery is more powerful than proof. As articles spread and debates intensified, Hye-yoon's face appeared on the covers of fashion editorials, now labeled the Silent Storm. Others tried to reach her for interviews, but she stayed elusive, speaking only through her art. When asked about her newfound fame, she smiled and replied simply, Sometimes, you don't plan the moment, it just finds you. Perhaps that was her quiet genius. While others chased headlines, she let the headlines chase her. Byun Woo-seok, too, kept his poise. His rare public appearances were now shadowed by questions about her. Yet he never flinched. "She's a wonderful person," he once said briefly in passing. Comment was enough to send fans into frenzy. He didn't deny it, screamed the comment sections. Their silence, again, spoke louder than any confirmation could. As the season changed, so did the narrative. What began as a rumor now became a cultural phenomenon, a shared daydream for fans around the world. But deep beneath the glitter, actors faced the same quiet truth. Fame was no longer a game of acting alone. It was a delicate dance between image and reality. In that dance, Kim Hye-yoon had mastered her every step. She wasn't chasing Byun Woo-seok. She wasn't chasing Prada. She was chasing her moment, and she had caught it. The internet, once quick to move on, lingered on her name longer than expected. Something about her felt timeless, as though she embodied both old-world grace and new-age magnetism. Every article, every photo, every rumor only added another layer to the enigma that was Kim Hye-yoon. As one editor wrote, "Single night, she went from admired to unforgettable." And perhaps that's what real stardom is, when the world sees you once and never looks away. The fever hadn't burned out, it had just begun to evolve. And somewhere, amidst the hum of flashbulbs and whispers, Byun Woo-seok's name still hovered near hers. Two stars caught in the same orbit. Whether destiny or design, their story was far from over. The world waited, breathless, for what would come next. The world didn't move on as it usually does. Weeks passed. Yet the fascination refused to fade. Every photo of Kim Hye-yoon drew millions of likes. Every movement sparked a theory. What had begun as a passing rumor now pulsed like an undercurrent beneath the glittering surface of K-entertainment. Somewhere between fantasy and fact, blurred, and Kim Hye-yoon stood calmly at the center of the storm. Her agency tried to steer the conversation back to her craft, interviews highlighting her upcoming projects, nostalgic clips from earlier dramas. But audiences weren't ready to let go. To them, she wasn't just an actress anymore, she was the mystery of the year. The face of modern elegance. A woman whose silence spoke volumes. And hovering ever so subtly in her orbit was Byun Woo-seok, whose every appearance now carried a shadow of her name. Their worlds kept crossing, on schedules, in endorsements, even in whispers of new scripts that accidentally paired them together. One fashion editor wrote, "The kind of duo you can't stage, an energy that feels scripted by destiny itself." For Kim Hye-yoon, the attention was a double-edged sword. It had always been her goal. But not like this, not in the shape of gossip disguised as glamour. Yet she handled it the way only true stars can, with grace sharper than denial. Instead of avoiding the spotlight, she transformed it into storytelling. Her next public appearance came at a film festival gala, a contrast to the Prada night's polished chaos. This time, she wore ivory silk, her hair tied back in quiet defiance of trends. No hashtags prepared for her, no stylized entrance was planned. She simply walked, eyes steady, smile soft. Still, she became the headline. "Kim Hye-yoon radiates effortless power," wrote one outlet. "Her calm is louder than any scandal." Byun Woo-seok attended the same festival 2 nights later. Cameras hunted for overlap, scanning every frame, waiting for that one shared glance that could feed another week of theories. But fate, or perhaps professionalism, kept them apart in public. Yet rumors don't need proof, they only need patience. Shot video surfaced days later, a behind-the-scenes corridor, barely lit. 2 figures passed each other, slightly bowed. A brief exchange of smiles. That was enough. The caption screamed. Within hours, millions had seen it. Within days, fan edits painted it as the reunion fate couldn't hide. History deepened, but the tone changed. What began as playful curiosity now glimmered with admiration. People weren't mocking, they were mesmerized. In the comment sections, fans spoke less of romance and more of energy. They mirror each other's calm. He looks happiest near her. She glows differently now. Whether true or not, the world believed it, and sometimes, belief is stronger than truth. Fashion houses scrambled to capture the wave. Prada itself leaned in, subtly posting clips of the event featuring Kim Hye-yoon in their highlights reel. No announcement. No partnership, just acknowledgement. Single gesture changed everything. Because in the luxury world, implied recognition means more than contracts. Suddenly, Kim Hye-yoon's elegance was not just seen, it was branded. She became a living emblem of understated power, the woman who conquered headlines by doing nothing but being herself. And yet, beneath all the polish, and disarmingly human. In a rare interview, when asked how she felt about her sudden popularity, paused for a long moment before answering. "I'm grateful," she said softly. "But it's strange to become known for something you didn't plan. I just hope people remember my work, too." Humble, yet it hit like poetry. The quote went viral overnight. Not because of what she said, but because of how she said it, with sincerity untouched by fame's polish. Byun Woo-seok, in a separate magazine feature, asked if he'd seen her recent interview. He smiled, a small, knowing curve of his lips. "She's always been like that," he replied. Honest, thoughtful. That's why people notice her. That sentence alone reignited the internet. Screenshots of the quote filled timelines. Edits appeared, his words over slow-motion clips of her from the Prada night. Soft music underneath. Comments poured in, "He's not even trying to hide it anymore." If there was more between them, the truth remained sealed behind their calm exteriors. Because in this story, what made them magnetic wasn't a confession, it was restraint. The world had fallen for the possibility of them. That was enough. As months rolled forward, the Prada fever settled into legend. It wasn't just a fashion moment anymore, it was a cultural phenomenon. Think pieces appeared in both Korean and international magazines, dissecting the event's ripple effect. Sociologists discussed parasocial desire. PR experts called it the perfect storm of relatability and mystery. Through it all, Kim Hye-yoon kept working. Her new drama premiered, nothing extravagant. Just a heartfelt story about quiet love and perseverance. Ironically, the themes mirrored a real life. Viewers wrote, "Feels like she's speaking to us through this character," ratings soared. Meanwhile, Byun Woo-seok took on a film role far removed from his romantic image, a psychological thriller that challenged his depth. Critics praised his transformation. But no review forgot to mention the phrase Kim Hye-yoon connection. They had become inseparable in public consciousness, two halves of an unsolved story. Behind closed doors, insiders whispered that brands were fighting to sign them together for campaigns. "They sell fantasy," one marketing director said. "Even without confirming anything, they create an emotional reaction. That's priceless." That, perhaps, was the secret to their power. They didn't chase the spotlight, it followed them. Each kept moving forward independently. But destiny, or algorithm, kept looping them back together. Whenever Kim Hye-yoon appeared in an ad, fans searched for his reaction. Whenever Byun Woo-seok posted a candid photo, fans looked for a reflection of her somewhere in the background. It was absurd. It was addictive. It was fame. Yet, in quieter corners of the internet, conversations began to bloom, ones less about romance and more about symbolism. People started to see their story as a mirror of something deeper, the intersection of timing, image, and authenticity in a world built on illusion. Columnist wrote, "Perhaps Kim Hye-yoon and Byun Woo-seok aren't the subjects of a love story, but of a cultural shift. They remind us that subtlety still sells. That calm can still captivate. Connection, real or imagined, is the strongest currency of fame." Those words resonated. Because in the chaos of clicks and hashtags, their stillness had become revolutionary. One rainy evening, Kim Hye-yoon was spotted at a quiet cafe in Seoul. No entourage, no makeup team, just her and a notebook. The photo, taken by a fan from afar, went viral for a different reason. "She looks peaceful," the caption read. "After all that noise, she's still just herself." Comments flooded in, not with speculation, but with respect. They had stopped demanding answers, they were content just to watch. Byun Woo-seok posted on his social media the next morning, a blurry shot of city lights reflecting on a wet street. Captioned simply, "Calm after rain." The fandom erupted, connecting dots again. But this time, even skeptics smiled. There was something poetic about the unspoken dance between them, how it mirrored the ebb and flow of modern celebrity. Because in truth, what the world had witnessed was more than a love rumor, it was a transformation. Kim Hye-yoon had transcended the label of actress. had become a symbol. The quiet power of presence. The allure of mystery. Art of being both known and unknowable. Byun Woo-seok had evolved. To, no longer just the charming lead, but a man whose silence carried weight. Together, or perhaps apart, they had reshaped what it meant to be seen. Months later, the Prada brand released its new global campaign. Fans watched with anticipation, convinced she would appear. The ad opened with minimalist music. A camera pan across marble floors. The echo of footsteps. And then, her silhouette. No announcement. No caption. Just Kim Hye-yoon. Standing in shadow and light. Her expression serene. The internet exploded. Prada never confirmed her as ambassador. They didn't need to. The moment spoke for itself. Within hours, the campaign became the most viewed luxury ad of the season. And when reporters asked Kim Hye-yoon how it felt to be at the center of the storm once more, she smiled gently and said, "It's funny how life comes full circle. I didn't chase the light, it just found me again." Woo-seok reposted the campaign photo with a single emoji. The cycle renewed itself, but this time, it felt different, less chaotic, more reverent. Because now, the world wasn't obsessed with whether they were together. The world was simply grateful they existed in the same moment. In the grand tapestry of entertainment, trends rise and fall like tides. But some stories outlast the waves, not because of scandal, but because of soul. Kim Hye-yoon's ascent amidst the Prada fever wasn't an accident. It was a reminder that elegance isn't loud. That mystery can be magnetic. And that sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones left unfinished. As one critic concluded, "Didn't need to speak. The world wrote her story for her, and she simply smiled and made it timeless." And perhaps, that's the magic of it all. Because even now, months later, when someone mentions Prada, or Byun Woo-seok, unforgettable night of flashing cameras and whispered names, one image remains vivid. A woman standing beneath the lights, serene amid chaos, unknowingly rewriting the language of fame. Hye-yoon, the quiet storm who turned coincidence into legend. And somewhere in that lingering glow, a truth softly hums beneath the noise. Sometimes, it isn't about whether the rumor was true. It's about how beautifully it made the world believe